All right, I could not wait for this matchup. Kelsey Plum back in Las Vegas, obviously San Diegan and now LA Spark. Obviously won a couple championships with Las Vegas, and that's where obviously the bulk of her career was. And she is absolutely loved there in Vegas. And they gave her that video tribute last night, which was awesome. It's on their social media page if you didn't see it. And I think it did a really good job of including not just her play and like what she's known for. Like it had her shooting in there, it had her driving and not being afraid of getting in there. And it had her celebrating and her staring at the camera after getting, after I think a and one last year, like just showing off her personality and just who she is. Uh, Dancing with the speaker at the press conference after winning, I want to say in 22. Just a gem of a human being, like super hilarious. And so I thought that was awesome. That was really cool to see the parade shots, obviously, and obviously much love that was going to be given to her last night. I saw her signing autographs before the game, and there were the Kelsey Plum signs. Once an ace, always an ace, I think was one of them that I saw. So it seemed like the Vegas fans really did a great job of appreciating KP last night. Now, it did not go the Sparks' way. They end up losing this one 96-81. And at times, it wasn't even that close. Um, Vegas, I thought KP, maybe some would think, oh, this is an excuse. But I think this is a valid reason, especially when it's a new team and that new team that is gelling right now, that the Sparks are. They're also down players. Rakia Jackson didn't play. Ray Burrell has been hurt. She got hurt the first game of the season. I want to say in the first half of the first game of the season. And those are two players that could be key to this Sparks team this year. And Cameron Brink, obviously, not playing. Now, she was never going to be playing. Like, that's a more of a midseason type thing, but they're out some key pieces. While you look at Vegas, and they've got their squad. The Sparks also, they have had a tougher schedule than Las Vegas. If we look at Vegas, their schedule compared to the Sparks schedule, starting with Vegas, they played May 25th against Seattle, and they lost, by the way. So they're pissed off, and they had time. They had 4 days of no game, and then they play, obviously, on Friday night. The Sparks, they played not just on the 25th in that win against Chicago, they played against the Atlanta Dream, who's been one of the better teams this year so far. Size, tough matchup. They played them, and then they went on the road to face Vegas. So they didn't have as much time to prepare for Vegas. They're not as healthy as Vegas, and so I think those, not just as a lame excuse, I think that's a valid thing for KP and the Sparks to bring up. I think, which is what they did post game in their presser last night. Should the Sparks have been better? I think so. I think that there were times where, and this could be like the heavy legs. I want to say the head coach Lynn Roberts was referring to that as, this performance. How could they have done better? Sure, but like some of it, me watching this game back, there were some not doing a great job of being there still for a rebound. And there was one instance where Jackie Young like was by herself and she almost like looked back with the ball, like thinking that maybe someone was going to be there, and no one was, and so it was an easy bucket for her. And then some wide open shots, some maybe not good enough. I don't want to say effort because like they could, I don't know how heavy their legs were last night, but it did seem like they were tired. I will say that it did seem like they were tired. But just watching it, it's like, let's get to that Aces player quicker, whether it was Jewel Lloyd or Asia or whoever, like very talented players, but get to them quicker, contest. And I didn't see a good enough job of that last night. Now, if the Aces, let's say the Aces and the Sparks were even, and this game was played, and Sparks had the same amount of time off, and they had Ray Burrell healthy, they had Rakia Jackson playing, what would this have looked like? You know, KP would say like, I got to be better from three. She was 1 for 7 from three. I think she was saying second half she probably could have passed more. Um, so there were things that like it's not like this is you know, all credit goes to the Aces. Like the Sparks could have been better, but Vegas is a good team. They're one of the best teams in the league. They are a championship contender and they are healthy. While you got the Sparks, they are not, and they're as of now not on the same level of Vegas. Playing on the road, tough schedule to start. Um, yeah, so that's how I would kind of chalk it up there. But yeah, KP last night, 34 minutes, 6 of 19 from the field, 1 of 7 from three, made all four of her free throws, no rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, 5 turnovers. She was a negative 21 in the plus minus, 17 points. So like if she would have went off like she has, you know, a couple of times this year, it would have been closer, but would she have made up for the 15-point deficit there, like, or the 15-point gap, I should say, right? Getting outscored by 7 first quarter like that, not ideal, and then definitely, coming into the 3rd quarter and you get outscored in both the 1st and the 2nd quarter, and they were down by what? 8 plus they were down, I think, 15 at halftime, and that's a big hole, obviously, when you're playing at Vegas on the road. Again, you're not fully healthy. Um, there's just Sarah Ashley Barker, like, I love watching her play. Um, I think it's a great story, but she's and Lynn Roberts said this post game last night, she is getting put in there into a role that maybe, well, not maybe, she wouldn't be in if everyone was healthy. She would not be playing the minutes that she is and starting games if everyone was healthy. Rakia Jackson would be in there. It would be Odyssey Sims, it would be Kelsey Plum, Azare Stevens, Dearica Hampby, and then Rakia Jackson. But Jackson's not healthy, so who's got to step up? It's been Barker. She's had some good moments for sure, but 3 points last night. Now Jewel Lloyd only scored 3 points, which is kind of crazy. But they had a lot of production. Vegas did from the other great players on this team, like an Asia Wilson who scores 35, made 10 free throws. Chelsea 15 points. Jackie Young 26 points. I did love that one moment. I think the Sparks posted on social media of it was Jackie guarding KP, and KP stares at her with a smile, like I'm gonna go cook you right now, and then does it. But the Aces obviously got the last laugh in this game. But yeah, like Vegas, it's a more talented, it's a better team, um, and they just had a lot of things going their way going even into the game, and the Sparks did not. But overall, KP going back to Vegas, it seems like she definitely got the love that she deserves. What she did there, um, you know, she was with the org in San Antonio, went through some struggles, and then goes to Vegas and was six woman of the year in 21. Then has a great year, like breakout year, I would say 22. Championship, championship again the next year. Um, All-Star game MVP, all WNBA, like Olympic gold. Like she has done a lot. She did a lot while a member of the Las Vegas Aces, and so that was cool. That was those games. Like there's some games that I have like circled on the calendar, not a physical calendar because nobody does that now, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's in reminders. This is tonight, and Kelsey going back to Vegas was one of them. Jewel Lloyd, that it's already happened, but her going back to Seattle, that was another one. These players going back to their past spots, it's always a must watch for me. So just wanted to update you there on KP and the Sparks dropping this one to the Aces. Next up for them, they've got the matchup, I believe, tomorrow against the Phoenix Mercury. And that is going to be the start of the Commissioner's Cup. Yeah, tomorrow, 3 p.m. And then they go on the road at Dallas. But they'll have some time. They'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before that game Friday at Dallas. So what Vegas had before facing the Sparks, they will have that before facing Dallas. So we'll see. I'm going to be curious to see what their performance will be like against Dallas after having the time to prepare for Dallas, the time to rest a little bit, the time to work on things. Lynn Roberts said post game, like she'd like to put some stuff in there for them. I think she was referring to certain plays, but they just haven't had the time to do it. So, gonna be interested in that. Um, Next time these two match up, it will be again at Las Vegas, June 11th at 7 p.m. on CBS Sports. So there you go. The Sparks so far, they are 2-5. Have played some good teams. The Lynx. Um, they played Vegas. Already had a couple matchups against Golden State, the Dream. So it's a team that isn't healthy, and they're just going to continue. They got to continue to keep building. So I'm not super surprised that they're not, firing in all cylinders. Uh, I would be surprised if they were at this point, and especially considering the circumstances. So there's your San Diego update from last night. KP going back to Vegas.